Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.
Golf Pick'em is back for another week in the NBC Sports Predictor Act. We're talking about the Memorial Tournament. Nick Menta, I'm Will Gray. Nick, we've got a lot of stars in the field, but I want to talk about two of the biggest names first. Tiger Woods, we haven't had him in Pick'em in 5 months, going up against Bryson DeChambeau, who won a couple weeks ago in Detroit. Who gets your vote at Muirfield Village?
Tiger Woods is obviously a 5-time winner at the Memorial, but he hasn't won here since 2012. More to the point, you just mentioned it, he hasn't played in 5 months since we last saw him finish dead last at Riviera. Bryson, just in the time since Tiger hasn't played, has racked up 7 straight top 10s, obviously capping that off with that win at the Rocket Mortgage. It is much easier for me to believe, Will, that Bryson is going to stay hot than that Tiger's going to come off the couch to suddenly contend. I will take Bryson.
Absolutely. I think if you look in Vegas, Bryson's actually going to be a little bit of a favorite against Tiger in this matchup. And I agree with that, and I agree with you. I like Bryson a lot. Remember, he won this event 2 years ago and probably 40 pounds ago, so he knows his way around this course. Tiger hasn't played since February, and I was there in 2015 when he shot that 85 at this event. Still a little bit of scar tissue for me, so I'm going to lean with Bryson, ride the hot hand. I think he's in for another big week. All right, Nick, the world number 1, Rory McIlroy, against world number 3, Justin Thomas, who came oh so close to winning at Muirfield Village on Sunday. Who gets your vote?
Yeah, I have to run through this final round again just because I still can't believe it happened. He went from 2 up to 3 down to 3 ahead with 3 to play to almost winning in a playoff to getting stymied behind a tree.
That's it.
I have no doubt that Justin Thomas will rebound from that disappointment. I just don't necessarily know that it's going to be on the same golf course the very next week. Rory McIlroy, on the other hand, the world number 1, 4 top 10 finishes in 8 appearances at this event. You know, he's been not quite his best since the restart. I expect him to come out and put up another quality performance this week.
What better template for getting a little bit of revenge than you get to play the exact same course? You get to erase your mistakes down the stretch for JT. I think he's going to have a big week. It's a strange season for him this year. 9 starts, he's missed 3 cuts, but in the other 6, he's been in the top 10 every time he makes the weekend. Same thing at Muirfield Village, 3 recent missed cuts, 2 other appearances, top 10. As long as he gets to Saturday, he's going to be in the mix. I think he gets it done this week. All right, Nick, the winner from this event last year against the winner from this course last week, Patrick Cantlay, Collin Morikawa. Which way are you leaning?
Collin Morikawa deserves every bit of attention he gets for his play over the last year. But Patrick Cantlay is the 10th ranked player in the world who flies exclusively under the radar. Well, he hasn't missed a cut since March of 2019. That's 18 straight stroke play events. Yes, Morikawa was better last week, but Cantlay closed with a blistering 65 on Sunday. He won last year. He was 4th the year prior at Memorial. You know I own all the Collin Morikawa stock, but I am not going to sleep on Patrick Cantlay in this spot. I'll take last year's champ, not last week's.
One of these days, I'm going to get you to sell me some of your Collin Morikawa stock. It's not going to be anytime soon, but I agree with you. I'm taking Patrick Cantlay, who has 9 straight subpar rounds at the Memorial. You mentioned the win last year, the 4th place showing the year before. Collin Morikawa now leads the tour in strokes gains approach, but he's 150th in strokes gain putting. Faster greens, the putter is going to become more of a weakness for him this week. I'm going with you and taking Patrick Cantlay. All right, Nick, a matchup of former Ryder and President's Cup partners, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed. Which way of Team America are you going?
Yeah, 2 players with solid histories on this track, but it's way too hard for me to trust Jordan's ball striking, especially at a venue like this. He's 145th on tour in strokes gained tee to green. It's a negative in that department. Patrick Reed, 32nd. And let's look back to just last week at the workday. Reed made the cut, Spieth didn't. I don't trust Jordan's ball striking at Muirfield Village. I'll take Patrick.
Yeah, I'm not sold that Patrick Reed's going to have a big week, but I think he's the safer bet. Only 2 top 50 finishes for Spieth in 9 starts this year. He's outside the top 60 in the world rankings for the first time since his breakthrough win at the Deere 7 years ago. Still looking for that turnaround. I'm going with Patrick Reed. All right, Nick, 2 guys that are still searching for a little bit of form. Jason Day, Phil Mickelson. Which way are you going?
Well, I think most people would lose a bet if I told them that Jason Day has played all 5 weeks since the restart. Missing 3 cuts will do that. Day not performing well at his de facto home event has been a monkey on his back for some time. But while we were all distracted by Morikawa and Thomas yesterday, Day finished 7th at the workday. It's actually his best ever finish at Muirfield Village. And I simply do not trust Phil Mickelson on a golf course like this. Not one that's this demanding, where they're going to grow the rough up. He was 58th at workday. This course is only going to get harder. The competition's only going to get better. In this spot, I'll take Day.
Absolutely agree with you. No top 10s here for Phil since 2010. He's outside the top 125 in strokes gained off the tee, approach, and putting. Other than that, everything's fine. I agree with you. A T7 finish for Jason Day is a sign of at least a little bit of hope. He's playing a de facto home game. I think he could have a similarly successful week this week. All right, Nick, a matchup of two of the most recent winners on the PGA Tour, Dustin Johnson, Webb Simpson. Who gets your vote?
Yeah, Webb Simpson's been as good as any player on the PGA Tour this year. I just personally don't love him on this golf course in this spot. Muirfield hasn't treated him very well over the years. In 7 appearances, he's been under par just twice. He actually removed this event from his schedule on 2 separate occasions. DJ, on the other hand, he busted out of the slump with his win at the Travelers. He's made 9 of 11 cuts in his career at the Memorial. He's got 3 top 10s. For me, this was easy. I took DJ.
I agree with you that DJ has the better form at this event, but I'm still going the other way. I'm taking Webb, who I think has the stronger record over the last few months, and he's taken a page out of the Morikawa playbook. 5th on tour in strokes gained approach, 16th in strokes gained putting, irons and putting. That's what it was last week for Colin Morikawa. That's what it's going to be this week for Webb Simpson. All right, Nick, our final matchup, 2 of the best players from Europe, Jon Rahm, Justin Rose. Which way are you going?
Justin Rose, a past champion here with 7 top 10s, but he's actually coming off 2 missed cuts, including 1 at this golf course last week at the workday. So I'm a little bit wary of what I've seen from him lately. I know Rahm has been unimpressive since the restart, and Memorial is not typically an event that is on his schedule, but that Sunday 64 from him at the workday has me intrigued. And it's very rare that I pick against Justin Rose on a Justin Rose golf course, but in this case, I'm going to do it. I'll take Rahm.
It's very rare I pick against Rahm, and it's very rare that I pick a guy who just shot 80 in his last round, as Justin Rose did. But you mentioned that Rahm's been a little unimpressive. No top 25 since we returned from the break, and I can't pass up the course form for Justin Rose at this event. A winner in 2010, playoff loss in 2015. He's been 13th or better 6 out of his last 8 trips to the Memorial. Discounting last week's debacle, I'm going to take a chance that he gets a little bit back on track, and of course he knows really well. All right, Nick, those are our picks for these 7 head-to-head matchups. But as you know, in this game, you also have to pick a tournament winner. I'll go first, and I'm going to go ahead and write that storybook ending. Give me Justin Thomas, the guy who coughed up that 3-shot lead over the last 3 holes on Sunday. He has been so solid this season. Every time he's made the cut this year, he has finished inside the top 10, already has 2 wins, and he loves nothing more than a chance to right the wrongs from last week on the exact same golf course. I think that JT goes for it, gets win number 3, and erases the pain of Sunday's playoff loss to Morikawa. Who you got?
Well, I'm going to take a guy we didn't even talk about, Brooks Koepka, who is now so mad at us for leaving him out of fantasy. He's got a chip in his shoulder, and he's going to win this week. In all seriousness, I like him because this feels so much like a major championship to me. The course setup, the strength of field. Brooks is golf's biggest big game hunter. He's the game's alpha when he's on. He just seemingly needs to be motivated. I know he missed the cut last week. I know there were some questions as to whether he was even going to play this week, but I think he's going to show back up sooner rather than later. Maybe that's the PGA, maybe that's the US Open, or maybe it's right here at Muirfield Village. I'm taking Brooks this week.
This may not be his week. Maybe you're right, but all I can say is for anyone in the content game like you and I, the potential for a Brooks-Bryson weekend showdown, yeah, I'll take a chance with that. Again, those are our picks for the Memorial Tournament. Remember, go on the NBC Sports Predictor, make your picks, the head-to-head matchups, the tournament winner and score, $1,000 in guaranteed prizes every week, $50,000 if you get a perfect score. So for Nick Menta, I'm Will Gray. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Golf Pick'em Expert Picks, brought to you by FootJoy.